Hello there, so this video is going to be for anybody who wants to get better and win a whole lot with Gardevoir EX. Now, rotation is coming up, so this deck is going to lose Kirlia, so whatever form of deck survives will be very different, but this is my favorite version. It's playing the Precious Trolley with Call Bell, so really looking for that turn 1 Arven, using the Call Bell to make sure that you get it. I'm only playing 3 Call Bell, and I've also taken out the Cresselia. Now, the guy who made this list and got 14th place with it at the Champions League in Osaka, he must know what he's doing with that Cresselia, but I have switched it for a Flutter Mane. And you'll see that the same player here, Taisei Kato, won 2nd place at the Japan Championships in 2023 with this older version of Gardevoir. There are some similarities, but obviously the deck has changed a lot, but it's interesting that it continues to be dominant. Even recently, last week, at my local shop, which had a City League event, Gardevoir got 1st place, and right now everybody in Japan is playing Unfair Stamp. Now there is the trolley version going around, but if you click any city league where there is a Gardevoir, you will see it with Unfair Stamp. But I really like this Precious Trolley version, and I'm going to show you how I play it. Now in this game, I'm playing against Hydreigon, which I think is a super strong deck. My partner here is not going to draw very well, so it'll be sort of an easy game, but you'll be able to see my thought process with this deck. So we're starting off with Radiant Greninja in the active, which is actually pretty good. Having Radiant Greninja to start is not a problem, but we have to be a little bit careful with the way that we use our energy. Now you'll see I have Arven in the hand, so it's pretty obvious. And I have the evolution machine, so this is a great starting hand. I have the vessel as well, so we'll start with Pepper as always, get another machine, and get Precious Trolley. Now, when it comes to Precious Trolley, what do you choose? I almost always get 3 Ralts and always 2 Munkidori. If you really want to go with 2 Munkidori, the only other options would be using Budu or Radiant Greninja. So in this case, I have Radiant Greninja, but maybe having Budu, if it makes sense, would be another one that you'd want to start with. But the 3 Ralts and the 2 Munkidori are super important. Don't get Drifloon, don't get Screamtail or anything else yet, because a bench space will open. It's much better to get those Munkidori set up. That is a key part of the way that I'm playing this deck. So now, after getting the Trolley, we're going to want Vessel. So I'm making a bit of a mistake here getting a Dark and a Psychic. I should have gotten 2 Psychics so that I could concealed cards with 1 Psychic, attach the other Psychic, and use the Evolution Machine, which I've used here now to get the 2 Kirlia. And I had another Kirlia in the hand, so sometimes you can just get 2 Ralts and use the machine, so you just have 2 Kirlia. But if you have one in the hand, or you think it's going to be easy to get the 3rd, go ahead and set up 3 Ralts. We're going to get Gardevoir as fast as we can as well. So if we only have 2 Kirlia, then you're only left with 1 Kirlia. It'd be better to have the 1 Gardevoir and 2 Kirlia. That's ideal. So I do want to start getting Dark Energy onto the Munkidori pretty soon, because my first attack is usually going to be with Gardevoir. And combining that Gardevoir attack with 1 or hopefully 2 Munkidori makes it so much stronger for a total of 250 damage. So looking for a supporter here with the Pokégear, and I'm going to grab that Arven. And we're probably going to go for more Vessel. I forget what I do here. Yeah, we'll take the Vessel. Just be very careful about how you're using Vessel, because you do need enough Psychic Energy for Gardevoir, but you also want to get that Dark Energy to the Munkidori. So I've taken out 2 Psychic there because I do need to refine and concealed cards. I'm playing 3 Vessel here. 2 I don't think is enough. But I'm having a little trouble deciding what to throw away, because I have the 2 Charms in my hand. I need the Turo, and I need the Dark Energy. So I'm going to go ahead and throw away the Bravery Charm. I have 2 more. This deck actually only played 2 at the Champions League event, but I'm a little afraid playing with 2, because you definitely need 1 to win. I usually use 2, and if I'm going to usually use 2, I probably want to have 3. That could be an area where I change, though. So I'm going to continue to refine Psychic Energy. I have 2 in the discard now, with a 3rd if I retreat Radiant Greninja. So once I have 3, I'm going to want to get to Gardevoir and attack right away with those 3 energies. So we evolve the Gardevoir, retreat, now we have 3, And we only have one Munkidori set up, which is unfortunate because when we attach these 3, we'll incur 6 damage, 2 for each energy card. And if we had 2 Munkidori, we can send those 6 over for a total of 250, including the Gardevoir. I forget the name of the attack, but it's 190. So if that 190 attack can become 250 with the 2 Munkidori, it's a extremely powerful attack. It's basically Dragapult. And of course, with, again, spread decks or something like Cloth, having the Munkidori is a great way to move all that damage away. So the Munkidori is super strong. That's why the Precious Trolley is so good. And that's why we play Artazon and Precious Trolley, because we want to definitely be able to get to those Munkidori fast. So my opponent here kind of making some strange choices, but I would have Poffined to get as much of the Dinos out as possible, because you really got to get to that Hydreigon. But she's got the Fezandipiti out, which is a little early for Fez to be out. I don't like Fezandipiti because I feel like it's a liability on the board. When I play with Gardevoir, I love targeting Fezandipitis on the bench with Screamtail. It's a way I win a lot of games. So I don't even play a Fezandipiti in here, and I'm sure the guy who made the deck list was kind of thinking the same, that there's enough of a draw engine that we don't need to have that liability. So she counter catchers my Radiant Greninja into play, which is just a way to slow me down. So I have to at least attach to get it out of there, or I can Turo it out. I would like to Turo it out because I don't necessarily need it anymore. Maybe one more turn, 1 concealed cards, and then a Turo. Or just assume that it's going to get knocked out. A lot of times putting your Radiant Greninja out in front or the Badu is just assuming that it's going to do something for you, get you cards or item lock them. And then now that you're set up, you can sacrifice it, you open the bench space, and then you get your attackers out with Artazon, which I've just played down Artazon and decided to Iono. So this hand is a little better than before. Some stuff that I can refine, and I would like to get that Drifloon. Watching this back, I realized that I made a really big mistake. I had 1 energy in the hand, and I used the concealed cards or a refinement. Now, I should have attached that to the Radiant Greninja because I need to retreat it. I happened to draw into another energy, but if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to retreat. So I'll continue to refine. Nothing really useful except for refinement fodder. Continue to pile up the energy in the discard so that concealed cards coming in handy. You can see how the Radiant Greninja really helps rather than only having curve. I actually did it again. I drew it into an energy and then I used it again to refine to get more cards. And I just happened to be lucky and get another energy so I could attach it for the retreat. But I'm not sure why I wasn't paying attention to that there. I'm going to retreat it now with the attachment and get another energy into the discard. So I think I have a total of 6 in play. And I can now move some damage off and make another attack. So a lot of times I will just keep using Gardevoir as an attacker. People are afraid to sometimes put it into the active because you don't want to lose your Gardevoir, because that's how you kind of make this whole deck function. But if you have Kirlias on the bench, especially 2, it's not that hard to get Gardevoir back. You either dig into your second or you Night Stretcher to get it back. Or you can use Super Rod and then Ultra Ball. But I usually have a pretty good time getting it back if I do lose it. So I'm not totally afraid to put it out in the active. And 190 is nothing to sneeze at as far as an attack goes. And of course, with the double Munkidori, I think it's super powerful. So getting the Gardevoir out as an attacker to start off with is great. And if you do lose it and they take 2, you can still win the prize trade because your next attackers are going to be single prize cards. So you really want to make the most of that Gardevoir attack. 190 is okay, but if you can pair it with 6 more damage from those double Munkidori, it's way, way better. And then if you attack like that, then it's okay for it to be sacrificed and you can Night Stretcher it back or get into your second and then start using your 1 prize attackers. So have the courage to just put that Gardevoir out there and don't mind too much if it gets knocked out. And she's just kind of trying to stall me because not really ready for an attack. So whiffing that attack has kind of means that I have game here, but we'll just kind of go through the motions here. And now that we have both Munkidori online, we can really start to move a lot of damage around. And we'll boss in that Petrant because we want to take 2 prizes here, because then, you know, we're pretty much game is secure, even though we really want to knock out the Hydreigon, because even if I get ahead, the Hydreigon can do a lot of damage with that Obsidian attack, and that's what makes Hydreigon so good, especially against a deck like this where there's a lot of weak Pokemon on the bench. But because I'm ahead and I have a pretty good board state, just knocking out the Petrant will be enough. So I refine the counter catcher there because I know that I'm not going to be behind in prizes, and so will not really have a chance to use it probably. And I haven't had to dig into any of my other attackers. I'm just have Gardevoir up front. So usually in most games I would have already lost Gardevoir, but you know, I've had Night Stretcher in the hand, as you've seen. I think it's not in the hand now, but it was, and I could Arven for it if I needed to. That's why I think 2 Night Stretcher in this deck could be good, because, you know, Super Rod is powerful with Artazon because we can Super Rod 2 attackers and an energy back, Screamtail and Drifloon. We can Super Rod them back to the deck and then take them back one by one through Artazon. So here she has Super Rodded Petrant back into her deck and then used my Artazon to put it back. Used its ability to poison the Hydreigon and get it in play with that Binding Mochi attached to it, which is going to be hitting for 240. And that's what makes this Hydreigon build pretty good, because if you can hit for 240, you can take one-shot knockouts. And so yeah, she'll knock out the Gardevoir. And I would put the Kirlia forward because I know I'm just going to take the Gardevoir right back, put that damage on it, Munkidori it over, and then maybe attack with something else. But when in doubt, put the Munkidori forward. If you're really not doing good, sometimes at the end of the game, the Munkidori can do that confuse attack and maybe buy you a turn. Or you can just Psychic Embrace and energy to it and retreat it. And then we'll Night Stretcher, back Gardevoir, and now that we have an open bench space as well, we can put Drifloon on instead of having to use Gardevoir as the attacker. Artazon really is powerful. You can see in my hand there, I'm playing Moonlit Hill. So this deck originally plays 3 Artazon, and I can see why, because it's super powerful. But I like the Moonlit Hill as an option as well, because if I, for some reason, don't have Radiant Greninja or whatever, and I really need to get an extra energy into the discard, Moonlit Hill is an option. And I don't use it very much, but it can sometimes help. And I have cleaned up damage from spread decks using it before, because it heals 30 off of all of your Pokemon when you put a Psychic Energy into the discard. And then, of course, we attach 5, incur 10 damage counters for 300 damage with our Balloon Blast or Balloon Bomb attack. And yeah, everybody who knows Gardevoir is probably familiar with that incredible 300 plus damage attack. You can even get it up to 330 if you Adrena Brain 1 damage counter off of Drifloon. So now you have 9 damage counters. Attach that 6th energy and have 11 damage counters, and then you could hit for 330. Little known Gardevoir Drifloon trick there.